What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Faith. I'm an astrologer. I specialize in astrocartography and money reading. If you may notice, we're in a new location, so welcome to my office. So I'll probably be recording here more often, so I hope you enjoy my creation. Check out my YouTube shorts to see the transformation with this wallpaper and everything else. In today's video, we are discussing Neptune lines. Neptune lines are very ethereal, very fanatical, just overall definitely when you visit these types of lines, you are dissolving into something higher than yourself, kind of dissolving into this energy. And of course, as always, we will discuss each angle, but in general, Neptune rules film, it rules art, it rules poetry, a little bit of music, altered states. So think like, drugs, plant medicine, alcohol, anything like that. It rules, as well as dreams, illusions, fantasies. So Neptune lines can get very, very interesting and a little bit foggy, if I'm being honest. But overall, depending on why you're going to this Neptune line, or maybe if you live on a Neptune line, it can feel different for everyone. I'm always going to recommend checking your natal chart as well as your relocated chart for the best insight. All right, so starting with the first angle, the Neptune Ascendant line. So this line or this energy just may have you feeling very ethereal. You may come across as very mystical to other people or mysterious, because remember, this places Neptune near or inside your first house near your ascendant. So this is all about you. So this energy can really have you feeling, like I said before, like you're dissolving into something bigger than yourself. So you may struggle with boundaries, but overall you may have a heightened sense of intuition. You may feel more connected to art or the people around you, or just very sensitive to your overall environment. It's like you are merging with something else, or merging to the environment or the fantasies of the people around you. You may experience a lot of people projecting things onto you about what they believe about you versus what's actually true. So this is a place where you definitely, while you can explore a different side of yourself, especially from a spiritual perspective, you may have a heightened sense of spirituality or just have spiritual experiences under any Neptune line, but definitely the ascendant. In general, though, you want to make sure that you are setting boundaries and that you're not losing yourself in, someone else's dream, or maybe a dream that you once had, but maybe you don't resonate with that anymore. So you just have to be very clear with yourself and what you are focusing on, or what you are moving towards when you're under this energy. Overall, a great line if you do want to kind of tap into your fairy side, or get ethereal, or just overall deepen your spiritual practices, or just your go deeper within your spiritual journey. I guess the last thing that I'll say about the Neptune Ascendant line is just be very clear about your identity, because it's easy to lose your identity or lose yourself within an identity that maybe you think you're identifying with, but really it's just under this energy you are molding into something else, if that makes sense. Okay, now let's talk about the second angle, the Neptune Descendant line. So this has an emphasis on relationships, and you may form very deep ideal connections here, but the thing is, this is the energy of not everything is as it seems. So while energies or connections may feel very deep, very romantic, very otherworldly or out of this realm, you want to make sure that you aren't forming any type of codependency, that you aren't dating for potential or marrying for potential here. You want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence to see things as is and not what you wish them to be. Under this energy is very easily to have rose-colored glasses about a specific person or connection. So you want to make sure that you are crystal clear on what it is and what it isn't. This is great for like honeymoon energy or just overall spicing it up in your relationship or taking a connection deeper. But I just recommend if it's like you in a little situationship or you just, you know, kind of got your little boo thing, make something official before you go to this place, because it's dreamy, it's otherworldly, but you could be on one page and then your partner or potential partner could be on a completely different page. So you want to make sure you get crystal clear. And even outside of romance, even though this is a very romantic line, be mindful of the people around you and still practice those boundaries, because again, people can project onto you. People may have a lot of unspoken expectations under this energy, because again, it's just this illusion that you may be casting, or people may expect some type of illusion or the idealized version of you that's based on their thoughts and their projections, not necessarily who you are as a person. They may be expecting that type of energy just based on their unspoken expectations versus who you truly are. So you want to definitely set boundaries in personal connections, at work and business, just in life in general. And you also want to really keep an eye out and trust your intuition as far as people's intentions. Like, do they have the best intentions at heart, or why are they, you know, wanting to connect with you, or what are both parties bringing to the table as far as a connection or just any type of interaction. If you are in any type of creative industry or artistic industry and you have some type of business partner, or you're seeking out a business partner, or even if you have a spiritual business and you are looking to connect with other spiritual entrepreneurs, this line may be a good place to do this type of work or collaborate with other entrepreneurs or creatives under this energy. But again, just be mindful of boundaries and saying things respectfully as it is, versus just going with the flow and not really stating how you feel and assuming the other person feels the same way when you are doing this work. But you can create magic under this line. Again, if you work on any type of art, music, film, alternative or plant medicine, if you're into pharmaceuticals as well, that's a great profession to work under as far as Neptune's energy. Probably more so a Neptune MC line, but we'll get there in a second. Also, if you attract people from these lines, then this could also be an opportunity to connect and to collaborate as well. The third line or angle would be the Neptune IC line. This is great for your home life as far as going and creating like this dreamy, ethereal, think beach house kind of vibes. I always say that this is a nice line if you just want to retire by the water and hang out and you aren't really feeling very ambitious and you just want to create and kind of vibe and just have a humble abode. However, this will create a lot of spiritual things that come up for you on an inner or personal level. You might feel a lot of personal emotions come up, or things that you may be ignoring from a spiritual standpoint that you may need to work through. So slight shadow work here. Or just overall some ascension that may challenge you or push you. Think transformation, but not in a Plutonian way, kind of in a more decipher. You kind of have to figure it out, kind of like when you have a weird dream. That dream may not always mean exactly what it represents. It could be a deeper meaning, or it could be just a metaphor for something completely different. So think in those terms, because again, Neptune rules dreams, and you may experience a heightened sense or more an influx of dreams is what I'm trying to say. You may experience an influx of dreams under this energy, because the IC relates to the physical home, but also your inner foundation. So it could be a lot of transformation going on with your inner foundation. But I guess the downside of that would be that this could start to become more of, you begin to dissociate. You may feel like you're walking in between two different realms, the spiritual realm versus the physical realm. You will have to deepen your trust as far as the unseen. And also this, you know, if you're not careful, or if the people around you, if you live with other people, aren't really very adamant about their spiritual hygiene, this could also manifest as abuse or neglect in the home, especially in terms of like alcoholism or drug abuse, because these are things that Neptune rules. A lot of times if you see a celebrity who has Neptune in their fourth house, sometimes they may have, you know, had a very abrasive childhood or history of neglect within the home, or maybe one of their parents struggled with alcoholism, or as an adult maybe they struggle with alcoholism, things like that. So you want to look out for these things and be mindful of these things, and try to make sure that you are very, very grounded. Otherwise you may tend to kind of zone out and just be in your own world and not really feel connected to the people around you or your local community. You may kind of feel like the odd one out, or just like you don't want to connect with your local community or the people around you. Overall though, if, like I said, you just kind of want to vibe and you want to relax and you kind of want to take your journey to the next level, or your spiritual journey to the next level, this could be a good line to vibe on. However, I'm gonna be very, very honest. If we were in a one-on-one reading, I would not recommend moving to a Neptune line unless, like I said, you don't have a lot of high ambitions, and that's just a place, it happens to be along a location that you really, really want to go to. Then I would just give you this information and you use it to your discretion. But it is one of the more challenging lines to build a life on, as far as if you are somebody who needs more of a sense of life direction, because under Neptune's energy you can start to feel very directionless, if that makes any sense. And the fourth angle, or the last line that I'll talk about, is the Neptune MC line. So this is related to your social status, your social standing, your career. And with Neptune being on the MC angle, this has a very ethereal, dreamy approach, almost like a fanatical or you are the fantasy. So it's great for any type of creative work, or if you're in a field that Neptune rules, like film or pharmaceuticals, plant medicine. If you're any type of shaman or a healer or energy worker, this is a great line to do business on as well. However, there could be a sense of illusion here, or you're just overall, your public image feels very elusive. This can also bring about different levels of fame here, because again, you are kind of like, you're the fantasy, you are the dream girl, you're different, she's ethereal, she's otherworldly, but we like it kind of energy. But that same energy can also make you feel very removed, or it's very hard to connect with other people. So your public image could shift a lot depending on how you use this energy. It's like, oh wow, I want to connect with her, but maybe I can't, kind of like that removed celebrity. Or it could just bring about different attention, whether it's good or bad. Like, attention is attention, whether it's good or bad. So it's like on the one end, it's like, oh, we're up and then we're down, kind of like very turbulent in a way, depending on how other people are perceiving you. But overall, this energy is great for if you have a business relating to these different things. It's still a great energy to work with, especially if you are in pharmaceuticals, like I said, or certain areas of the medical field that work with medicine or alter states, or like, you know, even down to like plastic surgery, because you're altering the appearance of face. And it is like an art or symmetry that goes with that. If you are an artist, a poet, a musician, anything like that, again, film, actor, this energy can kind of elevate your image in that way. But it's just, the downside of this line would be the disconnect, the brain fog, feeling like you are in this world but people don't get you kind of out of this world. People don't understand the struggles that you may have been going through, kind of like what people are now realizing Justin Bieber has went through all these years. And it's like now finally people can see inside of his world, but people just saw him in our world but not really understood what was going on in his world, if that makes any sense. So keep all of those things in mind. Overall, these are great lines to tap into your higher self and really work on things where it's, you know, it's different. You're tapping into a new version of yourself and you are ascending to something beyond what you know, a new level in your life, basically. However, long term, it can feel a bit foggy. It can feel a bit disorienting, and boundaries are going to be essential on Neptune lines, as things can get blurred pretty quickly. All right, guys, that's a wrap on today's video. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know, have you had any experience on one of your Neptune lines? And if you're new to astrocartography, feel free to download my free astrocartography guide. I'll link that in the description below, and you'll be able to have the directions to generate your astrocartography map using the maps feature on my website. And I've just updated that feature, so now when you are curious or unsure about a line, you can click that line on your map, and within the legend box I'll have a link connecting you to that type of line. So for example, if you are still kind of unsure about your Neptune Ascendant line, or maybe you're like, what did she say? How does it feel? You can click that link and it'll take you to the blog post about Neptune lines on my website. So I hope that helps. And of course, if you're still like, girl, I don't get it, then feel free to book a reading with me and we can get into all the juicy details of not only your astrocartography map, but I'll also pull up the relocated charts so we can go deeper as far as what potential you may be unlocking in these locations. So I'll leave all of that in the description below, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And until next time, thank you so much for watching this video.